Our dear Indian friends, I would like to address this very letter to you all on behalf of entire Nepalese all over the world. I humbly urge you to listen as an unbiased individual with a kind heart. You must be aware of the ongoing Lipulekh issue. The news of road inauguration by India via Lipulekh that lies within the territory of Nepal has immensely upset us. We are extremely upset not only by the encroaching strategy of India, but also its disrespect towards the sovereignty of our country Nepal. Yes, Nepal is a small country. However, no one is allowed to hurt its dignity. During this sensitive period, some of you have shown us your love and support. Thank you very much for that, while some of you have passed insensitive comments that we don't deserve. Well, I would like to believe you might have done so because of some confusions and misunderstandings. Therefore, in this letter, I'll be sharing some facts regarding this ongoing issue of Lipulekh and other border areas of Nepal, and at the end, I will try to answer and clear some of your confusions. So please do stay tuned. Now let me begin with the facts. Number 1. Wrongful alteration of map time and again in favor of India. In the Sugauli Treaty signed between Nepal and the then East India Company in 1816, the Mahakali River was said to be the borderline between Nepal and India. India has also accepted that the Mahakali is the border between two countries. However, from that period up until now, as per the convenience, India has been wrongfully altering and constructing its map, encroaching the territory of Nepal. Not only that, even fake Kali River has been built, creating confusions and disputes. The recent one is the updated version of India's map in November 2019, where it claims territory of Kalapani to be its own. To discuss such a selfish move, Nepal has been trying to organize meeting with India multiple times. However, not a single response has been heard from India yet. Number 2. History of Kalapani. Now let's have a look at the history of Kalapani. During the India-China War in 1962, Nepal had allowed India to station its army in Kalapani. It was a huge favor done to India by Nepal. However, once the war was over, India was supposed to go back, leaving Kalapani. However, it stayed back and now it's focusing to encroach the whole region. In the future, if Nepal is forced to go to the international court, the victory for Nepal is sure, because UN has the documents revealing Kalapani and Lipulekh both being part of Nepal. Since India wants to solve the issue with bilateral talks, although it hasn't happened yet, the case hasn't yet been taken to the international court. However, if such mistakes are not corrected by Indian government, Nepal will have no option but to go to the court for justice and protect its sovereignty. Number 3. Conflicting statements from the Government of India. Government of India on one hand acknowledges that there are ongoing disputes and unsolved issues regarding Lipulekh and Kalapani, while on the other hand, it is now claiming the new road built via Lipulekh bypass has been undisputedly within its territory. Despite having the evidences and acknowledging the fact, how can one make such conflicting statements? And what does this mean? These are merely some news that have come to the light. But there are many other cases where pillars in the border of Nepal have disappeared and overnight they are pushed back, encroaching the territory of Nepal. There are plenty of examples of breach of trust from Indian government. Now I would like to highlight some of the confusions Indian medias have. Number 1, you have a question if we are trying to spread anti-India sentiments. Dear friends, as you all are aware, socially and culturally, we are more inclined towards India more than anyone else, since we share similar values and we have historical relationship. Even at present, many Indian and Nepalese have united as families, including myself. They both travel freely for education, work and businesses, and have helped and favored each other in need. There are even Gorkha armies in India fighting for your protection in the borders. So how can we be against you? We are not against Indians. We have love and respect for you. However, we are against the encroaching strategy of Indian government. We are against all those strategies and policies that hurt the sovereignty of our country. Number 2, Nepalese are influenced by China to speak up against Indian government. I simply do not know how to answer it. But I have some questions to ask you. What actually makes you think we need external influence to fight for the sovereignty of our country, to fight for what is right, and to ask answers for all the wrongdoings? Yes, our country is small. However, love and patriotism for the country do not depend on the size and power of the country. We simply are independent Nepalese citizens who are generally peace-loving and tolerant. However, when it comes to our motherland, we can't at all tolerate insult, disrespect, and dishonesty in any form, no matter where it comes from. And we are forever ready to fight for our country and fight for what is right, no matter how small we are and how powerful the other country is. Now I'm going to say something serious. It's sad, but the truth, that Indian government is gradually losing trust of Nepalese people all over the world due to various unkind and selfish actions taken by it. For instance, it imposed undeclared blockade in 2015 when our country was hardest hit by earthquake. Yes, in the initial days, it helped us like many other countries did. However, later, because of such selfish political move led by Indian government, Nepal and Nepalese had to suffer a lot. Many people even had to die due to lack of medical supplies. After a couple of years, in November 2019, it again surprised us with the updated map of India, where it claimed the territory of Kalapani as its own, which historically and evidently belongs to Nepal. It forgot the past favor, rather focused to encroach the entire region without responding to the proposals for bilateral talks. And now, during this very pandemic, when the entire world is fighting coronavirus, they have inaugurated road in our border territory, again claiming as its own. And the Indian government has postponed the talk and negotiations to be done once the situation is eased off. In the first place, was it the right thing to do? Or even the right time to do so? So don't you think all these acts break the trust? Some of the Indian friends have asked us, why are we overreacting? That Indian government had just made a road in the existing route and both the countries can use it. The fact is, since Nepal and India have open borders, there is free movement in various routes. However, it doesn't allow and give any right to the Indian government to encroach the territory of Nepal. And we rather have a rough road than someone coming, fixing and claiming it. It can't be that easy, can it? To all our Indian friends, I would like to say that all of us love our mothers. They are very special. However, if seniors of our household are trying to trespass and encroach the territory of another household, hurting the dignity of another mother, we should be courageous enough to speak against the injustice, or at the least not criticize or humiliate that very mother and her children who are fighting to protect her dignity. Thank you for listening. I hope our relationships will grow more glorious with time. And at the end, I would like to say that this very issue can be resolved by the bilateral talks between Nepal and India, hopefully without having to go to the international court. We honestly do not want any external influences or international involvement in this very issue between Nepal and India. We do not at all want our beautiful relation to be spoiled. Therefore, all we can do is pressurize our government to hold talks as soon as possible and to resolve this issue once and for all with sincerity and honesty. Finally, I would like to urge our Nepali friends, before it's too late, let's fight together for the dignity of our motherland. Let's fight for the sovereignty of our country. However, while doing so, let's make sure dignity of another mother is not hurt. Let's remember, the fight is not against India or Indians. It's against those dangerous policies and strategies made against our country by its government. Jai Desh, Jai Nepal.